Okay, so this is going to be kind of a shorter video than I usually do. This is just a quick fix on how to basically fix faces when you're regards to 3D printing. I kind of found this out the hard way a few times, where when you're working on a project in Blender, and I don't know, that's the only 3D software I use that I basically have, but you might end up running this into others, but I know in Blender, sometimes when you make something and you take 2 or 3 parts and put them together, the faces can get confusing. Let's say you have this thing over here and this key, and when you put them together and they're inside each other, the computer gets confused with the faces on one side of the object and the other object, and then they basically, it inverts the faces on the other object. When you put this into a 3D printing program, it sometimes gets confusing, and then it will show things that are going to end up being printed that aren't supposed to be printed and stuff, so you end up having, like, say, in this case, a circle that's closed in. And I'm just going to show how to recognize what's going on, and then also how to rectify that. So anyway, hope this helps out, and enjoy the vid. Alright, if you see here, this is the part we made for the mic that is that kind of Statue of Liberty industrial, I don't know what do you call it, steampunk look. The only thing though, okay, you see here, it's got a hole in it. But if we go over to Shapeways, where I've had it loaded up, there is a big block right in the middle. Why? Is pretty much because of the faces on this ring here. The hard part is it is very hard to see this when you're looking at it in Blender. I've had this problem a few times, and what happens is the faces inside that ring, when these all parts were connected by just joining them together, what happens sometimes is the computer gets confused with what you're doing, and it'll see this and it sees this, and these all connected and these all go together right, but that last part, because of, for whatever reason, it sees it as the faces are pointing out, and it reverses the faces. And the ways you can fix this is, if you can see the faces, you can end up, you know, either flipping them or you can recalculate. But a lot of time what problems that happen is when I actually did recalculate this and it still came out like this. I also, by the way, found out if you use I think it's a FSB, or I forget what file it was. It's the AutoCAD version. The model comes out a lot smoother on Shapeways, which is why I'm probably going to switch to using those. But first we got to fix that hole crap, because yeah, you could drill it out, but what's the point of using 3D printing if you can't print out stuff that you don't have to work on later? So what I'm going to do, this is going to delete that object, and this is why I always make duplicates of all my objects. These parts are all disconnected. I'm going to go, see, since that's the only objects in the room, I'm just going to press A to select all, Shift D to duplicate, and then I'm going to move all of them to level 1. That way I have on level 3 I have the duplicates, and then on level 1 we have the ones we're going to try again. This video is actually going to be a trial and error, because I'm not even sure how to I have fixed these, it's just usually when I fix them I don't have that good of a method. Only thing I know right now, troubleshoot wise, is these all go together and there's no problem with them. So all I do is join them together and these come out super. This is the one problem right here, is this ring. And it could be because if you look at the ring, it has the faces on the outside or pointed out, which is probably where the computer is getting messed up. All of these parts, no, they actually haven't, so I'm going to go and apply. Before you actually link these together, you should always actually apply the multi-res modifier. This one already has it. I have an idea on how to do this, where one, we could either manually go in, grab all the faces, flip them. I've tried recalculating them and it still ends up screwing it up. So I have one idea left, which is, this is kind of, let's see, this thing, I'll just call it gear thing so that I can figure out who I'm dealing with object-wise. And then this thing, this is my awesome names, ring thing. And let's see, I'm going to go down to a boolean. A boolean actually has 2 or 3 different variations of what it does. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to add, no, I don't want the bevel, I want the bool. Come on. Blender, don't lock up on me. Blender, don't lock up on me. Yeah, you didn't lock up because I don't need bevel, I need bool. I need a lot of bool. Alright, I'm going to take boolean off of this object. Boolean has a thing called union, which will essentially, if I go into, this is, since we're so close up and I don't have a distance in here, this is why this is doing this, is you can actually see inside the object as I kind of move in and out, is the faces are pointing in on this object, which means when we try to join it, somehow the computer is thinking, oh, these faces are pointing out, I'm going to flip them, and what happens is somehow when it goes over to Shapeways, it makes this completely one solid piece, which is not what we want. So what I'm going to do is we're going to select ring thing, and what it should do is when we combine these and apply this union, we'll cut out all of the excess stuff. And I mean, you could do that yourself. We may have to do that ourselves if this doesn't work. But I think what'll happen is union should change these together. I have to go check on a cat, so just a moment while this is calculating. Alright, there was a kitten trapped in a closet. They do that sometimes. Cats are like ninjas. Alright, it calculated. So we're going to just hit apply. And this will, technically it'll create 2 new objects. Or it doesn't really create new objects, it just takes on that green object, it will make a new object, hopefully. Knock on, well, I don't have any wood, I have a plastic desk. There we go, I've got some wood on my chair. Once it applies, it should make the geometry that is in that green object part of the gray object. And then hopefully, in theory, this will work. We can make a separate object. I can load it up into a new export file, and load it on Shapeways, and everything should be golden. So, come on, you can do it. You can apply it. Right now it's just waiting on my computer. Yay, it caught up. So now we should be able to see there. You didn't really see that because let me get out of this. It did it. You can see the green object over here, and now the gray is the new object. So I'll just remove that. Move to level 2 just for shits and giggles. And let me see, I'm going to go into perspective view, and yes, you can see inside, come on, back up. You can see inside the gray object has cut the wall all the way around. So now, hopefully, this should be named. So we have the gear thing is the name. So now I'm just gonna save, cross our fingers, go to new, and append gear thing. There it is. And I'm gonna go export as, I found out this FBX, the Autodesk option actually ends up working better than Collada file when it comes into Shapeways. A lot of time Colladas look a little bit like they're a whittled object, whereas these ones come in very smooth, so I'm kind of wondering if that affects how it'll print. And now let's update this file here, and let's hope this works. FBX. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't take too bloody long. Come on, uploading model file. Come on, come on. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Oh yes, I'm lame. Also, I should see a cost change here, because right here it says $47.59. That's the cheapest material they have. When we load up this new one, it should go down because it'll have a hole in there. And also it says thin walls, but I checked them, and the only thing that it's saying thin walls is right up here. So the rest of the object is nice and in the green zone for wall thickness. So that should be all good. And I've used Shapeways enough that I know there's a little button you can click when you're unsure of something, where it's called print it anyway. And if you click that, they'll print it, and I'm pretty sure I'm no problems here on the top ring. Usually they have a wall thickness for depending on what objects you're doing that will just sort of tell you how much the printer will work. But I've actually told them to print complete mistakes, and it'll print out just the way it does, and even if it falls apart, I find something to do with it. But it still is a way of learning what a 3D printer is capable of, and eventually I'd like to get my own 3D printer, but right now this is a good gig for me. I mean, Shapeways, you don't have to like buy the material, and you don't have to maintain a printer, so that's sort of the nice thing about it. Uploading model file. Come on, come on. I have a crappy connection, but come on, you can do it. Bloody hurry up. I believe what I'm gonna do is make a UV map for this gear thing so that it will kind of look cool when so that, you know, it'll kind of look neater on the microphone. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but that'll be in a separate video, mainly because I'm not that good with UV mapping, so I'm going to do a little bit of test stuff. Is UV mapping in Blender, I'm pretty good with projection, and I'll show you how to do that, which is like the easiest of, well, easiest that I've found of almost everything with UVs. And then there's the nice UV stuff where you cut out your picture and stuff like that. And that, by the way, I had a lot of caffeine today. You might have figured that out. Come on. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. A little bit. Come on. You can do it. You can do it just a tiny, tiny bit more. And here it comes. Come on. Alright, back with you. It took forever for this to load up, and if you actually look on Shapeways, it is loading up as we speak. It is all kinds of weird looking, but that's just how it looks when it starts loading up on there. I can already see the problem is fixed, which is awesome. This will continue to load up until it is all clear. Sometimes if you just swivel it around like this, for some reason visually it renders it a little faster. I don't know why, because you can see it's sort of coming together. Let me see. Prices went down a tiny scotch. I mean, it's basically down to about 40 bucks, which is pretty acceptable that I can go with. By the way, one thing, I don't know if this was a problem on Shapeway's side or on my side, but I had to change the file type. I got a few errors from the Autodesk version and also the what was it, 3DX or something, or I basically changed files a couple times, and I went back to Collada because I knew Collada works like a charm. So right now this is still loading, but it'll look kind of creepy for a bit. I just want to see. See, sandstone. Ooh, sandstone's only $36.12, so that's cheaper. So far I haven't done much in sandstone, but don't let the name fool you. Sandstone is really kind of cool. It is more like plastic. When I heard sandstone, I thought, what? Sandstone? But you can basically make things with it that have color on. Wish I could show you the end result. Oh, there we go. It's almost there. I'm going to do a follow-up YouTube on how this looks when it comes out, and then, as with all the models that I'll build that I intend to eventually sell, I will basically see if this works. If it works, I'll probably make up a little short YouTube just to show how to hook it on and stuff, and if it doesn't work, it'll probably end up on my junk alone and whatever, and it'll just end up like a lot of the other models that I have that are, this is the wrong screen, but anyway, it's gonna go save changes so we can keep that model ready, and I'm gonna go and do another YouTube on making UV on here to make this colorized and stuff, because I was just gonna spray it, but now, since if we can do it in sandstone, it'll look probably cooler with color on it. So anyway, yeah. Alright, so that's how to fix your faces. My next mission, I think, I'm actually going to have a few other tutorials on different things, but one of my missions is to fix my glasses. I totally scratched these up. Not really like I can do anything about the scratch up. I kind of have an idea of maybe using, I forget what it's called. It's like a type of buffer. It's diamond something is what it's called, and you can actually buff out glass, and you can use it for CDs and stuff, but I don't have any. The reason they're scratched is because, like an idiot, I keep doing that. But yeah, I'm going to eventually make my own frames. So anyway, so we got how to fix your faces. Hope that helps you out in case you run into this problem. And have a great day. Ciao.